Hey friends, Thor here once again with This Week on Blu-ray and DVD. We've got a mixed bag to talk about. We begin with the sometimes comedy, sometimes drama, Danny Collins, starring Al Pacino as an aging rock star who discovers a 40-year-old letter from John Lennon that the famed Beatles musician penned to him when he was a kid. And he basically takes the letter and tries to rework his life, reconnect with his family, and a wonderful sort of drama ensues with just enough comedy to keep everyone satisfied as well. You've got a wonderful ensemble cast here led by Christopher Plummer, Annette Bening, Jennifer Garner, and the always great Bobby Cannavale. I enjoyed this one because it's actually Al Pacino not doing the usual scenery chewing that we've known him for in recent roles. He kind of takes a step back, really gets into the character here, and it does have its flaws for sure when it comes to basic storytelling. But I liked where it went with the story, and as I say, the characters were all really well examined. So a nice little film there. Danny Collins, if you like ensemble cast, led by Pacino, the master himself. Okay, this is a very interesting story next. 71, starring Jack O'Connell, who was brilliant in Unbroken. But this film, I really preferred over that one. In fact, this is one of my favorites of the year so far. And don't forget about it at awards time, even though it came out at the beginning of the year. He plays a young and disoriented British soldier who's accidentally abandoned by his unit following a deadly riot on the streets of Belfast in 1971. An incredibly gripping war drama that takes place over the course of 24 hours. So it's almost shot in real time. Great performances led by O'Connell, and just a gripping sort of realism and a wonderfully understated soundtrack that adds to the palpability of what these guys were going through at the time. If war dramas are your thing and you like authenticity when it comes to those kind of genre movies, check out 71, one of the best and not to be missed, as I say, at awards time. All right, next we're going to be talking about, yes, Ryan Reynolds and Dame Helen Mirren in Woman in Gold. This is the remarkable true story of a woman's journey to reclaim her heritage and seek justice for what happened to her family. 60 years after she fled Vienna during World War II, an elderly Jewish woman, played brilliantly by Helen Mirren, as always, starts a journey to get back her family possessions that were seized by the Nazis. So she enlists the help of a plucky young lawyer played by Ryan Reynolds, and that takes her all the way to the Austrian establishment and the U.S. Supreme Court to confront difficult truths about her past. Interesting story here, led very charismatically by Helen Mirren and Ryan Reynolds. It gets a little bit wonky at times with the screenplay. Wasn't quite as compelling, I don't think, as it tried to be, but still a great movie for a central performance there from the always wonderful Helen Mirren. Katie Holmes actually has a small role in this movie as well. All right, next we're going to switch gears a little bit here and talk about Merchants of Doubt for the documentary buffs. This is a satirical look at corporate deception, directed by Robert Kenner, who gave us Food, Inc. This explores how the media twists and spins stories, confuses the public, and delays public action on some of the most pressing issues in modern times, everything from tobacco to climate change. And it highlights a group of very secretive, highly charismatic, silver-tongued pundits for hire. I watched this once again the other night, and it is dry at times for sure, a lot of talking heads, but the subject material and the content is sometimes downright fascinating and scary to look at all these corporations that enlist PR firms and people that put spin on all kinds of things and subject matter and controversial issues and topics. Goes all the way back to the 50s and 60s. Some eye-opening, groundbreaking stuff, and it's illustrated beautifully here thanks to Mr. Kenner in this great documentary, Merchants of Doubt. All right, we're leaving you with a couple of TV shows. This is a great one. Speaking of documentaries, the 6-part HBO documentary series, The Jinx, The Life and Deaths of Robert Durst. Now, this is that compelling look at the life of New York real estate scion Robert Durst and the string of deaths that follow in his footsteps, all up to the chilling conclusion that was broadcast on HBO. You can get this one in its full, majesty of the 6 parts, plus some great bonus content, including the new feature, 8 Years in the Making, that details the lengthy and meticulous creative process involved in the unfolding murder mystery. This guy actually was arrested in New Orleans in March and charged with a murder in Los Angeles. The filmmakers will actually be testifying at that trial, so the story is still unfolding. I don't want to give away too many details about the intricacies of the different cases and the different murders he was suspected of. It is engrossing. It is television at its finest. The Jinx, The Life and Deaths of Robert Durst. HBO once again doing enjoying it in fine form. And finally, we leave you with one of the best shows on television. House of Cards is back for season 3. Kevin Spacey, Robin Wright, they both won awards for their performances in this season, and Frank Underwood is back. And in this one, the biggest threat they face is probably contending with each other, and the stakes are bigger. They've upped their game because now Frank is in the White House, and season 3 is just masterful. So many new twists and turns, and because they're dealing on an international scale and the politics are much bolder, you've got a lot of more room for serious drama here. So all 13 episodes are available in a beautiful 4-disc Blu-ray with collectible packaging, and you got a new featurette as well, Backstage Politics, which gives you an extensive behind-the-scenes look at the creation of season 3. House of Cards, get it now, collect them because the packaging is beautiful on those ones. That's it, people. I'm Thor Dykow. You can catch me on Twitter at Thor Dykow. We'll see you next week on breakfasttelevision.ca.